And welcome everybody to Off the Bench with Esteban Velez, our first episode here today. I'm your host, Esteban Velez. And guys, like I said, we're really excited for this episode. First one ever here at Culver Stockton College. So for this big episode, we had to bring in a very, very big guest. Legit one of the best basketball players here at Culver Stockton College. And his name is Seth Larson. Seth joining me today. He is a junior out of Columbia, Missouri, men's basketball team. So, Seth, how are we doing today?
Good. Happy to be here, get to talk with you guys for a little bit, go back and forth, talk about basketball and whatnot. So, happy to be here.
That's great to hear. Before we start off, first, I want to congratulate you on getting Primo Student Athlete of the Month for December. That came out yesterday. So, first of all, congratulations on that. How are you feeling about that?
Thank you. Yeah, it's a blessing, it's kind of cool to win that, being in college, you're a student athlete, first being a student, then an athlete. So, you got to get your jobs done off the court and as well on the court. So it's really an honor to be winning that award.
And getting right to it with your season so far, let's talk a little bit about last season. Not exactly the ideal season for you guys in terms of how everything turned out. This season, however, a big change coming in, a new coach, however. How has the dynamic of the team changed from last season to this one so far?
Yeah, starting off with getting a new coach, you don't really know what to expect, but it's a fresh start. I think it was a restart for our locker room as a team. Just really you could get the vibe that we all kind of felt refreshed getting a new coach. There's you don't know really what to expect, so it's kind of keeps you on your toes, and it's just good to restart. Having a rough last two seasons as my freshman and sophomore year, and just being able to have a new coach and kind of get a fresh restart, and yeah.
So before last school year ended, you guys already knew who your coach was going to be. You knew kind of what to expect. You had the chance to meet him before you guys went off for break. It was a long break and a long off season for you guys. How was it preparing for that and, again, preparing for a new coach?
Yeah, so like you said, we got to meet Coach Hobbs later on in the last couple weeks of last semester, so last year, and just got to feel out what type of guy he was, what he was about, and how he's going to coach, and what type of guy he's just really going to be on and off the court. Preparation-wise, in the off-season, the summer, for me personally, just getting in the gym maybe twice a day for 5 or 6 days of the week was really important to me. Just being able to get a ball in my hand and be able to work out, get shots up, and just, better myself and better my game, just getting ready for a big upcoming season for my junior year. And also just getting into the weight room, being able to better my body, to keep myself healthy and get stronger.
In terms of coaching and just the team dynamic, if you had to pick one thing that stood out and that changed the most from last season to this one, what would that be?
I think it would have to be commitment. We got a new guy coming in, new coach coming in. No one really knows what to expect, but I really think Coach Hobbs came in and really set the tone for us and really wanted to change the culture right away. And I think commitment was a really big part of that, being able just to commit 100% of you to our team, to this basketball program for a whole season, and I really think that was a big part of it.
Now talking about you personally as a player, if you had to choose one thing, one part of your game that has changed the most from last season to this one, what would you say it would be?
I would have to go with the ability to catch and shoot, especially from beyond the range, like 3-point. I struggled with that my freshman year. And sophomore year it was okay, but it wasn't where I wanted it to be. And teams really figured out how to guard me, closing out short to me, making me put the ball on the floor and really predictable. So being able to add that catch and shoot ability to my game really has opened up my total offensive side, and just makes a lot more things easier for me.
This season, when the preseason rankings came out, you guys were picked to finish last in conference play. How did you guys take that? What was the message sent to you guys, and how did you guys one to decide to prove the conference wrong and do as great as you are doing right now?
Yeah, we got those rankings in the beginning of the year, and we didn't take them too lightly. Obviously, you got to go off of our previous seasons, and we get that. But, Coach Hobbs came in and really changed our culture and showed us that ranking, and it really kind of, teed us off a little bit in the wrong way. And we really started to create a underdog mentality, really, because no one thinks Kohler Stockton's going to win. No one, no team comes into our home or us going to their game or their court thinking they're going to lose to us, and it really just disrespects what we're about and what we are as a program. And we're doing better this season. We're not there where we want to be yet, but we're making progress. We're getting better, and we just like to keep that chip on our shoulder as we go into the rest of the season.
And you kind of talked about it a little bit there. You said about teams coming in here to play and how dominant you guys need to be at home. So far this season, you guys have done that. You've only lost 2 games at home. Those 2 losses, one of them you were injured, weren't able to play, and then the other one, a key figure for you guys, was also injured. What makes you guys so dominant here at home?
I think, honestly, just being at home and having our crowd. We always have a strong home crowd advantage playing here, and just playing off of their momentum and being able to produce that into our game is really vital for us. Missing a couple games here and there, I get that, but I really think playing at home, you got to keep that to a standard, and you got to win at home to be a good team, and just keeping that the standard of winning home. We own our court. We don't have anybody that comes in here and beats us is really what keeps us going, and I think playing off of the crowd really kicks us up into a higher gear too.
Before season started, was that exactly what you were expecting? Is that what you thought would happen? Did you think you guys would be so dominant at home and get really big wins on the road as well, or was it just a total surprise for you?
I kind of expected it. We've had some shootouts in the last couple of years at home against really good teams, and we're able to beat some really good teams at home. And just shout out to our students and our town, showing out to games, getting in there, packing the stands, making it loud. Harder for opposing teams to come in and play, and just feeding off of their vibe and everything is really helpful. And I kind of expected us to be able to win this much at home.
Talking now about Christmas break, you guys ended or began the break on a really high note, finishing off that first half of the season kind of really, really well. Were you worried at all that the break was going to tone you guys' momentum down and just not do you guys any favor afterwards?
Just a little bit, not being able to be with the team for that many days. We had a longer break than usual. We had 10 days, and not being able to practice with your guys for 10 days, and that's always going to come into play. Coming back, we might be a little bit more sloppy because we're just trying to get back into things. But also, on the other hand, I know our guys were getting in the gym, getting a ball in their hand, weightlifting, over the break. So I think it was a good restart, a good refresh. Everybody needs a break, and it was good to have that 10 days off for even for people to heal up, get some rest. But there was a little break there where I thought, maybe this isn't the best for us just because we're going to be separated for that long.
Talking now a little bit about your stats this season so far. Taking a look here, you're averaging 13.1 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and on top of that, you're shooting 45% from the field, 41% from 3, and the free throw range is at 75 or 77% right now. When you look at those stats, does that describe Seth Larson? Are you happy with your performance so far, even though we know there's more to prove?
They're decent stats. I'm not necessarily happy about them. I think I could put up another 4 or 5 points in my points per game. And, being able to rebound is pretty important to win. And I think I could honestly chip that up another rebound a game. I would like my free throw percentage to be higher. I know last year I was top 4 in our conference for free throw percentage, so I took a little dip this season. But, I know my I know myself and I know what I'm capable of, and I really do think I should be improving throughout the season. You know, it's been a little rocky the beginning of this season, just being out and not being able to get into a flow. So being back right now, healthy, you know, I think I'll be able to kick it into another gear.
If you had to describe your playing style this season and as a whole throughout your entire career, what would you describe it as?
I'd like to describe it, fundamental. I'm not the flashiest player. I don't do the flashiest moves. I'm not the quickest, but I am pretty fundamental, and I'm proud of that. Being fundamental, I'm just able to get the job done. It might not look the prettiest, but I am able to perform at a high level, and yeah.
When we talk about you as a player again, what is one aspect in your game that you think goes unnoticed most of the time?
I'd say my passing. I think I am very capable of making good passes throughout the game, and even some flashier passes. I am able to sling that rock, I have made some really good passes in the past, but I think the one part of my game that goes overlooked is my passing.
I got two more for you. First of all, one aspect of your game you want to improve. I think you kind of touched on it instead of free throws. Would that be the one you want to improve the most?
It's one of them. It's definitely, I know what I'm capable of. Going back to last year, like I said, I was shooting almost 90% from the free throw line. I know what I'm capable of. I'd say probably my inside game, probably mostly with my left hand, being able to finish over guys with my left hand and maybe spin back and finish with my left. But mostly, yeah, one aspect I would like to keep improving on would be working inside, posting up, reverse pivots, probably playing from like the elbow, and just that would open up my game a whole lot more and being able to work myself in to out, so beyond the 3-point line later out.
And lastly, before we let you go, if you got to name one struggle that you've overcome this season, whether it be with your team or your individually, what would you say that would be?
One struggle, I'd say next shot mentality. In my past, even in high school, my freshman year mostly of college, I was struggling with, next play mentality. If I made a mistake, turned the ball over, made a bad pass, maybe missed a shot, that'd kind of get in my head, and I wouldn't be able to leave that play in the past. The basketball's a really fast-paced game. You got to be able to keep up, and you can't keep thinking about something that happened 2 minutes ago because you won't be able to play to your standard. And so one thing I overcame is being able to have that next shot, next play mentality and be able to keep up with the game and not really focus on what's happening in the past, but what's happening in the present and even future.
Yep, totally get that. Whenever I was playing college soccer throughout my entire career, I kind of had the same issue. Make a mistake here, make a mistake there, and then you just kind of quickly refocus, just not worry about that anymore. There's nothing you can do. So I totally get where you're coming from, Seth.
Yeah.
Seth, it's been a pleasure having you along. Thank you very much for joining us. We wish you the best in the rest of the season, and go Wildcats.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Go Cats.